This episode brought to you by the following patrons. Heather, Min, Jason, Madeline, Laura, Jeremy with the laser eyes, Allie, Kristen, and Tia. And all the patrons want you to know you're loved, you're listened to, and you're a valuable member of this awesome Horror Virgin community. And if you want to hang out with us, do so in the Facebook group, Discord server, or subreddit where we'll be hanging out daily. Paige, I haven't heard Latin spoke this horribly since the Boondock Saints. Ex Spiritus Sanctus Amen. What?
What? Thank you for tuning into Horror Virgin. I'm Paige.
And I'm your Horror Virgin Todd, which means I don't like scary movies, but you guys make me watch them. And this week, Paige made us watch
Constantine.
Battlefield Earth for Christians.
Yes, definitely. But also there's so much in it that I was like, I don't even think Catholics believe that.
Oh, Paige, I honestly, this movie was so boring for me because I was like, I grew up Mormon. This is pretty much what I was taught in Sunday school.
Yeah, this is, I guess, our Book of Mormon, if you want to think about it, as the Constantine comics.
Which I guess makes this my childhood pearl of great price.
Yeah, there you go.
And if you get that joke, I'm sorry.
I do, unfortunately.
Paige, was this the first time you saw this movie?
No, I've seen this movie. It had been a long time since I had sat and watched all the way through.
Because how could you, right?
Because
I actually kind of loved it, but please continue.
I feel like on vibes alone, thumbs up. However, I think since we made this movie, because this kind of predates most of our modern superhero movies and comic book movies in general.
Yeah, it came out 2005. Yeah.
Right. This was when I was in high school, right? I think since then we have gotten, just as a cinema world, better at managing lore within a standalone film. I think if you have 6 movies, if you're a Marvel movie and you know that you can explore this for a bunch more movies, you're a little more sparing with it and you're not trying to cram it all into 2 hours. But I would invite you to consider a more modern film with an equal amount of lore, although not based on a comic book, that actually does a better job revealing it.
Yeah, Passion of the Christ? Yeah. Yeah, man. 100%. I agree.
That creepy baby at the end, which is better, Satan baby or Peter Stormare? Who's to say? I think, and this is why I'm going to compare this, John Wick is actually not too dissimilar from this movie as far as lore goes, but I think it does a better job of bringing you into the world without overwhelming you and without overstaying its welcome.
So is the puppy Isabel?
Yes. No, I mean this in the sense of we learn a lot about John, but not much about him as a person. Just facts like a character sheet in Dungeons and Dragons. And I know it is based on a comic book. They're trying to put in as much as they can. We, I think, have learned after making so many comic book movies that there's a limit to the amount of lore you can fit into a first film.
That's the reason a third of Iron Man takes place in a cave.
Right.
You can only do so much when introducing all of Marvel.
Right.
You got to do it slowly.
Right.
This movie introduces the Bible and then adds half of the esoteric Mormon stuff I grew up with.
Oh yeah, it's a whole lot of, but then it treats it all right?
Oh, it does. Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't arguably, as someone who's read the Bible and a fair amount of the Book of Mormon at this point because of Cult Podcast, I should, if anyone would maybe be yeah, I know, it'd be me. It's not, half the time I'm like, so what are we doing now?
Right?
I'm very confused through most of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, the Spear of Destiny, what powers does that have?
What a wasted story point.
Because you can get kind of run over by a car, but you're so heavy that the car kind of wraps around you instead of you getting hurt really. And then if any sheep dare walk within 20 feet of you, it dies.
Right.
What is this? What is that?
So here's the thing. I think the Spear of Destiny is the most interesting thing in this movie that they waste.
Yeah, because it's not really in the movie.
Aggressively waste.
It shows up for 20 seconds and it's the book ends.
Yeah.
When it should be oh, Paige. Oh, I had an idea we may have to cut for the podcast because
Okay.
you and I have to make this.
Okay.
I happen to know that the Spear of Destiny is actually in a palace in Vienna
Allegedly.
that you can get tickets to and go see.
Yes.
So what if God really wanted that spear back? And so he sent Gabriel and Michael to go steal the spear, and they have to work with Keanu Reeves
I'm listening.
and other people who have had near-death experiences but now claim to have superpowers, which is oddly super common. And they go on an Ocean's 11 angelic heist of the Spear of Destiny. That's a movie I want to watch.
Sure. I feel like if I were making a comic book movie of this today, and again, I have not read the comics, the Spear of Destiny would be the main plot. And the idea of there is a relic, it actually has power, it can kill anything within feet of it. It has the powers of the plagues or the threats in Revelation of livestock will die. All these things will die. Give it actual tangible, understandable and seeable powers, because anytime we see it, it just does whatever. And we're okay, is it getting closer? Or should we be worried? I don't know.
Also, how did it get to Mexico? If anything, Argentina. If anything, Argentina, Paige, right?
I know,
Mexico?
I know.
I don't think so.
Mexico?
Argentina, I'd buy that.
It could have easily been Argentina. Just change story point, Argentina.
Yeah.
Unless they sent someone from Argentina to be hide it so no one can, whatever.
What is he, Nephi? Come on, Paige.
Come on. In John Wick, we meet John as just a dude who misses his dog. And we meet the players of, who kills the dog. We hear that they're tied to organized crime. And then we watch a montage of Keanu Reeves digging up the floor of his garage.
It's awesome.
And we are barely introduced to the coin system, but it's just enough for us to be okay, he needed the coins. He gave that guy the coin. He has the room. We know the one law is no business in the hotel. That's all we really need to know. And maybe later we'll find out more about this hotel. But for right now, for the story, all I need to know, I know. And this movie both introduces too much lore and explains too much lore, but also not enough at the same time. It's not giving us the right information at the right time. I'll contrast this with another one that I think does the same problem, but in a more entertaining way, and that's Blade. Remember when we recorded episodes about Blade and we're vampires can have babies? We got really stuck on that.
Yeah.
Too much weird lore, but it's also 90 minutes of just Wesley Snipes quipping and shooting people, and you're I can't be mad at this.
No, you cannot.
This movie is 2 hours of remember this really obscure reference in one version of the Bible that some people use and other people don't, and this says this because it's convenient for the plot. And then we're not going to use any of the biblical references that people are mostly familiar with. We're just making shit up, and that's fine.
No, they're getting Nag Hammadi up in this bitch for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but that's the thing that's baffling me, Todd, because you are right, because there's a whole host of Mormon weirdness in this movie.
It's not just Mormon weirdness, but there is some Mormon tangential weirdness. Yeah.
Here's my thing, though, is they set it up as Catholic. Because, they're playing by Catholic hell rules, although they ignore purgatory completely.
Right.
Which is wild.
They only do that because they want to make it so unbelievable that Isabel would take her own life, because no Catholic has ever done that, Paige.
Right, never once.
When she was I don't think you understand, she's Catholic. I was okay, I mean, I understand that rule, but that has happened before, ma'am.
Can I also tell you that this movie treats suicide in a very strange way, because that seems to be the only way to ever get answers. We'll talk about it as we go through.
Oh, you mean because he does that to himself in the electric chair, more or less?
And also with the glass shards, and also with her in the tub. He literally at the end, he's I guess I had to die twice. And I was brother, you've died 6 times.
This movie, you're basically a cat. God help you if there's a Constantine too.
Right? There is a Constantine TV show. I don't know if it was good or not.
It should have been called Constant TV. Come on.
Constantine, because it's every week. But so there's so much of Catholicism that they're playing with, but then also Mormonism.
Yeah.
And then Apocrypha, which is neither. And I'm just who is this? Who do you expect to understand the rules of this world? Because if you wanted to, like, I feel like there are movies, Jake plays a lot of JRPGs. The Japanese seem to be fucking obsessed with Catholic imagery. They use it so much. And like, it feels like one of those where you're watching it and you're like, oh, that's not quite right. Like, I don't think they understood what they were translating there.
I know what you're saying. And I think and I know it wasn't Japanese necessarily. Most of it was in Korea.
Right.
But like the movie we did last week, you and I were both like,
Yeah,
I don't know what any of it meant, but it was cool as shit. So that's kind of what those JRPGs do for like Christian iconography.
It absolutely is.
This was like what we were doing last week.
But I would say at a certain point, the movie last week gave us just enough information to know what we needed to know.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we still got through it, and then at the end, we're just like, that's metal as fuck, let's go.
Yeah, dog.
This movie gives you so much information and then is just like, right, you get it. And you're like, I don't get anything. And then most of that information is useless for the rest of the film.
Yeah. I love when they set up shit that like never comes back and you're
Just
like,
never
oh,
pays
cool.
off.
Or like they go on like a tangent because they like that symbol that's on the guy's hand who like
Yes.
drown himself or whatever.
It's basically the Templars.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which
yeah.
they don't touch at all.
No, but they like, so he calls his buddy who like looks it up and he's like, oh my God, like everyone's freaking out about it. And I was like, have you never looked down like a gun scope? Like that is just,
Right.
it's a crosshair, bro. Like I would not look at that and be like, oh, it's a biblical symbol. I'd be like, oh, someone just drew a crosshair into his hand.
Right. You got to come up with weirder symbols.
Yeah, get on your game, early Gnostic Christians or wherever that one came from.
For a hot second, I thought it was, well, and there's, if you want to go early Gnostic Christians, there's so many other symbols.
Yeah.
But it looked like the thing that's on Colin Farrell's head in the Daredevil movie, not the TV show.
Yeah.
Or a little bit of like Dr. Manhattan, but it never goes into that mark. We see it 4 or 5 different people have it. It never tells us anything about it ever at all.
It just tells us it's like the son of the devils. It's Little Nicky's symbol, I think.
Maybe.
I forget what they call him in this movie, but I'm choosing to see him as Adam Sandler from Little Nicky.
Sure.
Because they do say he's Satan's son, which like...
He's Satan's son, yeah.
Come on.
But like the guy who touches the Spear of Destiny gets it as part of it, but that's maybe related. But it's never clear about that. It doesn't tell us what the Spear of Destiny does or all of its powers, which I admit, it is fine to have something that has kind of mysterious powers. If you want to have a comparison, think about the Tesseract in Captain America, where we're focused more on who Captain America is as a person. And then when we interact with the Tesseract, everyone's like, we don't know what it'll fucking do, but the Nazis want it, and that's bad. And that's all we really fucking need to know.
I mean, yeah, that is kind of all we need to know, I guess.
Right?
But this movie is just like stealing from all different kinds of
Everything.
like, I would say generally Christian lore, but it's like all over the spectrum of what, like,
Right.
They steal from Mormonism, obviously Catholicism. They steal some from the Book of Jarrell.
Yeah.
When they're like, ooh, if you want to kill a demon, throw him in a mirror like we did to General Zod and his henchmen that one time.
Right, exactly.
Like, where's that coming from?
Look, we don't really have time to get into how America has kind of Christofied Superman, and like we don't have time. It's all Joseph Campbell's Hero of 1,000 Faces.
Yep.
It's just the arc of storytelling.
Yeah.
It's always that way. It's been that way as long as humans have told stories. Just read the book. I don't have time to lecture on it today, but thank you for coming to my TED Talk about how screenwriting works. And so, like, it's one of those things where it's also like they didn't give Constantine really an arc. Like, they tried, but he's kind of just around as most things are happening. The few times he takes action is after like his friend dies, or whatever. But a lot of it is like Rachel Weisz is like, I'm having a whole thing. My sister's dead. I'm seeing visions. I don't know. Meanwhile, Constantine's like, man, I am dying of lung cancer. And boy, am I pissy about it, until she like involves him in her problems, which is a classic structure for a noir, right?
This is a noir. You're right.
It absolutely should be, but it is paced wrong for a noir. And so it's like they needed tighter pacing at the very beginning to get us to our noir point. Almost like the Daredevil TV show does actually a great job of this, where they have like their lawyers. And so it's just like, this is our lawyer office. A lady walks into the office, right? Like, that's basically it. This movie needed to really condense and tighten that first act. But then also it seems to try and involve as many characters as possible. And so we're like meeting them and things happen to them. But because we aren't in on the lore and it doesn't really adhere to any one belief system that gives us the ability to guess, we're just kind of seeing stuff and being like, is this important? Is it a problem that his Q died? No, because he just builds the gun on his own. All right, then. Like, should I care that Shia LaBeouf is dead? He seems to, but we've only seen him 3 times in this movie, and we don't really know who he is.
He seems like he's an unpaid intern for Constantine.
Right.
I felt bad for him.
Right, which admittedly is funnier in Deadpool, when Deadpool has an unpaid taxi driver intern who is homicidal.
Sounds like a good time. I was very confused by Constantine as a character. Like, I didn't know if he was an angel or like just a human. And like, I mean, obviously you mentioned he had cancer and like is gonna go to hell when he dies. So much so that the devil can come to earth, but it's this big deal that his son is like trying to break in. Like it's crazy. But like Constantine can talk to Gabriel, like he can see Gabriel and he talks about God like God owes him $100.
Right.
So like I had no idea like where Constantine comes from until they give the flashback on it. I actually did Google, is Constantine's human at one point because I was trying to figure out if he was an angel or not.
Can I tell you something that I thought before I saw this movie for the first time and then was very disappointed that was not the case? Because again, I have not read the comic, but if you're making a comic book movie, you have to strike a very delicate balance between pleasing the people who like the comic book and also not making it so inaccessible that people who haven't read it are lost, right? Five Nights at Freddy's made the same mistake. So the first time I saw this movie, I thought, and maybe this is Constantine's human. I thought Constantine was the Emperor Constantine who had somehow, because he was a great servant of God, become immortal and fought demons.
Paige.
And like, why isn't that it? Because that'd be great.
Would watch that movie.
That'd be the
If it
best.
was just the Constantine that died shortly after becoming Christian, like in like 300 whatever AD.
Correct.
Is still alive.
Yes.
Looks like Keanu Reeves, who there is like a conspiracy theory about Keanu Reeves being ageless and like having lived throughout time.
Correct.
Because of how many like Renaissance era paintings look like him.
Yes.
So like, is it perfect casting for your reading? Yes.
Right? He faked his own death so he could truly be a servant of the Lord. Oh. How is that not the Christian people that make bad Christian movies? Because I'm telling you, we're not good at it. Christian people, why haven't you made that movie yet?
That would be great, honestly.
Even if it was like a bunch of descendants of Constantine's,
Paige.
And he did die, but it's like Constantine's great-great-great-great-great-grandson,
Paige,
and he has powers.
How is that character of Constantine, actual Roman Emperor Constantine?
Right, Constantine.
How is he not the Nick Fury of the Christian expanded universe?
Motherfucker, are you serious? Yes.
And so then we would get this like Keanu Reeves Constantine like helping the Pope's exorcist in the next movie.
Buddy.
And like he could show up in any time period of Christian horror.
Buddy, I'm telling you that we'll get a Monster of the Week show with St. Michael and it'd be fucking great. Like, give me, I have so many writing assignments to turn in. I can't do this right now, but like, give me a couple months and just let me write Christian Avengers and actually make it good. But you gotta let me kill people with blood and I have to be able to have time travel and stuff. But like, let me do this. Let me be like, Constantine, like the comic book? No, the Roman emperor, but with powers.
No, the real story of Constantine.
It's 365 AD, Council of Nicaea. Like
365
like,
Paige, I already know you're casting Massimo as
oh my God.
as Constantine. It was 325, not 365 AD.
Whatever.
Paige. You know, in the Council of Nicaea, when they decided to stigmata everybody through the hands for looking at their girlfriends.
You know he would. Constantine loves to do that.
Can I tell you what I hated most about this movie? It proved my parents right for saying I couldn't get that Bush album 16 Stone when I was a kid because they were from the devil.
I did have a moment where, like, when I said we were watching this to Jake, and again, it had been years since I had watched it, and he was like, the guy from Bush, and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, is that Gavin Rossdale?
Yes, that is
former
Gavin
husband of Gwen
Rossdale.
Stefani and lead singer of Bush?
Yes, it is.
Honestly, great band name. You called your band Bush? Love it.
They were huge fans of Prescott Bush.
Oh, damn it. Now I don't love it.
Who is, believe it or not, the worst.
Oh, but he is one of the Christian Avengers. He's just the one that goes rogue. He's their Deadpool.
Oh, you mean Gavin Rossdale?
No, I mean Prescott Bush.
You mean the guy who tried to overthrow the American government, Prescott Bush, father and grandfather of a president? Yeah.
Deadpool. Yeah. And they're like, he's off the rails. We can't keep it. He can't really be an Avenger because he's unpredictable.
I may have been the only person to have been turned down for a character they wanted to play on Good Morning from Hell. And I begged them to let me do Prescott
Did you beg to play
Bush.
Prescott Bush?
Yes, of course I did.
No, I've made suggestions every time and they've chosen other things. But I don't off the top of my mind remember because I usually end up selling them on the one that I want.
Yeah, I was like, how about Prescott Bush? And they were like, how about Al Capone?
I mean, Al Capone's a fun one too.
I had a lot of fun with it. Anyway, Paige, one more thing before we get into it.
Sure.
And I know this movie, it was a different time when they made this movie. It's 21 years ago.
It absolutely was.
When they made this movie. And I will just say, John Constantine deports a lot of demons for someone who is not an ICE agent in this movie.
I mean, he's God's ICE agent.
That's what I wrote in my notes. I was like, I don't know how to ask this question, but is John like God's ICE agent?
God's ICE agent. No.
It kind of seems like that, right?
It does kind of seem like that. And I didn't see him actually with a warrant ever or checking to see if anyone actually
Exactly.
had any criminal activity. He just seems to be like, I see demons, I judge visually.
Yeah.
And then he accuses them of genocide. And I was like, you're about to kill a whole room of them.
I know, literally.
Yeah, in a way that is way more fun with a blood rave in Blade. So,
Oh, yeah. This one wasn't as cool. It was just like, oh, I guess what I did? About 9 hours ago, I did 3 hours of work to hook up the sprinkler system here to holy water and not regular water.
Right.
I didn't show the viewers that, but now it's going to show up and destroy everyone in this room.
well, I think that's what he was trying to do by like just smashing into that big drum and dropping what looks like a Minecraft sword, but I guess is a cross into it.
Shit. Yeah, it did look like a Minecraft sword. But, you know,
It did.
crosses be like that.
You know what that scene was really missing, though? Was the soundtrack of just like, let the bodies hit the floor! Let the bodies hit the... That's why Blade is better.
That is why Blade is better.
Blade is a better version of this.
Also, there is no scene in Blade where, your female lead has to go beg a man in a dress for the soul of her sister. And he's like, well, actually, I can deny her heaven because she killed herself, so I can literally holy gatekeep her out.
Oh, St. Peter, how mean of you. Because the gate. I also thought it was wild. The technicality of her also needing to be psychic and then her finding the coin and all this. And I was like, why is she finding the coin for his friend that was killed? And there's a whole section of this movie that has zero causality at all, where you're just like, why is anyone doing what they're doing?
I can actually connect all of that.
Okay.
But only if we tie this to the Game of Thrones universe. Follow me. Here we go. So when John Constantine becomes John Constantine the Baptist and he drowns Rachel in a tub, she becomes Ironborn and then can go seek out that iron coin that Gavin Rossdale got as his advance on the 16 Stone album from the devil.
That was great.
I got there.
7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
You got there. You got there.
I could tie anyone in popular fantasy literature to Daenerys Targaryen in 7 moves.
Okay.
I can't. We don't have time for this. We don't have time, Paige.
Wait. I think I might be able to do Okay. I was going to try and tie Massimo to Daenerys Targaryen.
Oh, she wishes.
I wish. But think about how hilarious he would look as the Emperor Constantine. Just like 6'4", towering over everybody, trying to speak Latin.
He might look kind of perfect, honestly. I don't know. Yeah.
Here for it.
Yeah.
Here for it.
But Paige, I think it might be kind of perfect if we went through this movie scene by scene.
In nomine Patria Spiritu podcast.
I was not expecting the Latin version of this. But Paige,
Yes.
let me read the opening lines because I wrote them down.
Do it.
He who possesses the spear of destiny holds the fate of the world in his hands. The spear of destiny has been missing since the end of World War II.
Why isn't that the main story of the fucking movie? I'm sorry.
That's when I was like, if this is a heist movie with angels trying to like steal the sword of destiny or spear of destiny, here for it. And the spear of destiny is in this movie 2.5 minutes tops.
This title card is giving Raiders of the Lost Ark, and this movie is giving The Crow. And those
How
are very different
dare you?
things.
How I love The Crow. He gave his life for that movie, Paige.
He did indeed. He did indeed. But yeah, that disconnect is what I mean. Like, you're setting this up where we're gonna like follow the spear of destiny and be like, oh shit, this like fucking kills people. And like, where is it? Is it gonna be close? Is it gonna be a problem? And then at the end, it's like, oh, that's what she pulled out of the sheath. Okay, I thought it was just a knife.
And it starts out like it's Gollum finding the ring. Like the
Right.
dude is like, they're like looking through the ruins of an old church in Mexico and his foot goes through like a floor or like it's like earth covered floor. You know, it's kind of like they were digging around.
Right.
And he finds this Nazi flag under his foot, literally.
Right.
That has the spear of destiny like wrapped in it. By the way, if you're wondering if that Nazi flag looks like it's been buried for 60 years, no, I am happy to report it looks like it was buried on a Tuesday. So like, no, it doesn't. But the spear of destiny is in there.
Not to bring up a different movie, but I watched The Mummy the other day because we were supposed to record, and then when we didn't, I just watched The Mummy. And that cold open also reveals us finding a like specific artifact that we need for the movie. It does it in the same amount of time that this movie does, but then it ties it all the way through of like what we need, who has it, why is it important. This, we see this. So he like, his foot goes through, he picks it up, Spear of Destiny, and then he walks and gets hit by a car. Fucking terrifying, right?
Yeah.
A stunner of a cold opener. And then he just stands back up off the car and he's not dead. And so my first thought is the Spear of Destiny keeps you immortal and kills everyone around you. That's the message I have from that cold open. And his eyes ain't right. Like he has demon eyes.
It doesn't kill the guy who sees him, right?
Right. It just makes somebody unkillable. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Is the message that cold open sends.
Yeah, kind of.
Right?
I was like, is this a Simple Plan music video? Like, what is happening? Because the car just like wraps up that guy and he
Right.
does like lay on it and it kind of looks like, oh, he might be dead, but you know he's not dead because the car hit him going like 70. So he would be like airborne.
Pancaked.
Well, yes. Yeah. Well, he would be dead.
Yeah.
You know, he wouldn't be just like laying on the hood like, oh, that was weird. But then he does get up and walk away.
He pulls his head up and he's just like, 'cause we lost it all. Doesn't last forever. I'm sorry. I can't be perfect. And then runs off into the desert.
Exactly.
Anyway, we then cut to Los Angeles,
Yes.
California, where a lady is making tea and then oopsie doodle, her daughter is possessed. It happens that fast.
It does.
And she's like spider crawling up on the ceiling level possessed, which normally when we deal with possession, it's like, you know, she wasn't feeling well for a couple days and then she peed on the floor, told that astronaut he was going to die. And then it's been like a month and then we can't get her down off the ceiling, right? Like, but this is like instant ceiling crawler.
Yeah, she was listening to Everything Zen, got possessed by Gavin Rosdale. And she, like, the mom came over and was like, get out. And she was like, I don't want to come back down from this corner.
I was going to say, it was like, I don't know any Bush songs on command, but that is the one so thank you.
Those are the only two I still remember. Everything Zen and that one. That's
like,
it. That's all I got.
I was just thinking, like, she's in the corner shouting about Bush. Like, burning Bush. That's what happens when you sleep with Gavin Rossdale after a tour. I'm sorry. Anyway, there is some sort of time jump. We don't know how long it is. We don't know when it is. We don't know what relation this is from the cold open to now. But John Constantine, or the Emperor Constantine, if you want to be cool about it.
And I do want to be cool about it.
I do want to be cool about it.
Yeah.
Shows up at this lady's house, and there's another priest there. And he seems real creepy, but he's like, I found you one, Constantine. And again, we have no idea who this is. We have to just assume he's a friend or creepy. I don't know. But he leads John upstairs, and then John proceeds to pull, much like the Mummy, a scene where he goes through all of his saint medallions of like, which one applies to this demon, picks one, puts it on the girl's head. It seems like the possession's over, but she still looks pretty possessed. And then the demon tries to like claw its way out of her throat. And he's like, oh no, we got get a mirror we can destroy. And like holds the mirror above it so the like demon can see itself, and then it's trapped in the mirror.
Before they trap him like General Zod, he does punch this poor girl in the throat because that's where the face is. I did laugh.
I laughed out loud.
If I was the Foley guy, I definitely would have given them the option of a sound effect as he punches her right in the throat. Like, it's nuts.
Hear me out.
It's very funny.
He punches her in the throat. We get the but then we get like a demon hand out of her mouth, like she coughed it out and then it's coming back in. Just like a birthday. But demon hand. Anyway, he does have Shia LaBeouf move the car because he knows he's about to throw a mirror out the window.
Yeah.
They trap the demon in the mirror. They throw it out the window, and she's just like, oh, I'm fine. Why does my throat hurt so much? Like, why is my windpipe collapsed? Anyway, and one guy who looked at the demon now has the same haircut as Cisco. It was 2005. It was irresistible. Everybody had it.
Yeah. He was like, let's try him like Zod, 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 Zod.
Yeah. Look at that demon. So scandalous. Coming out your mouth. Can't handle this. Anyway, so he goes downstairs. He's out of cigarettes. He's so upset. He talks to the priest and then takes this like protective amulet off of him.
Yeah.
Because he says, he's like, hey, that exorcism wasn't quite right. Like something was off about that. That's not how that usually goes. I need you to listen to the ether and tell me what you hear just for a couple days. That man never talks to Constantine again while he's alive. That man goes on his own separate journey that he never communicates to Constantine about.
He eventually drinks himself to death.
Yes, in a wild series of scenes.
But we come to find out that amulet is like, think of it like a bulletproof vest page.
Yeah.
That's what Keanu Reeves says later.
That is what it is. Now we get a kind of a close up on it, and it's got text and stuff, but we only see it those couple times. So I was like, is it a bulletproof vest, or is it the thing that you get at the gift shop near Stonehenge? Because do I have a necklace that looks like that from the gift shop near Stonehenge? I absolutely do.
It kind of does look like a collada, if you know what that is. Like
a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Kind of a Celtic-y symbol.
Yeah, it does look rather Celtic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to above a bowling alley, which it took me a while to see what those things were rotating, but it's the ball return are the machines along that walkway.
Yeah.
He goes to the place above the bowling alley. We then cut away from it. We will come back to that. This movie cuts in and out of stories with no regard for you as the viewer trying to understand what's happening.
No, but I do think this is where it like sets up Rachel Weisz's character, right? Because it cuts to her in the confessional.
It does.
And she's talking to the priest on the other side of the confessional like she's DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
She's like, I just produced a murder. Another one. She literally, she says, I killed a man today, and then waits, and then says, another one.
She is on track for the Basic Instinct award for most cop shootings in a film that we've done on this podcast. I guess that was the other podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it still works, though, because Michael Douglas shoots 4 people in that movie, or they talk about him shooting 4 civilians in that movie, and that dude is, respected as a cop in that movie.
And they're like, I'm sorry, we got to take your gun, Ace. That's fucking nuts. Anyway, so yeah, she's killed people, but she's like, why do I always know where they're going to be? Why do I know when to pull the trigger? We have no other insight about that until later.
I guess the midi-chlorians at that point, that's what the Force told me.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And someday she'll know to shoot all those younglings to beat Michael Douglas's record. Anyway, we cut to what looks like Rachel Weisz waking up in some sort of hospital asylum situation. She runs out through an unlocked door, up the stairs to the roof, and then jibbity jumps off the roof.
Well, she like falls in her best Jesus Christ pose.
Sure.
And then it goes through like the cross glass ceiling and then into the cross glass pool below it.
Correct. And then Rachel Weisz wakes up and is like, oh, that wasn't me, but I know my sister's dead. I can feel it. Which this movie does attribute to what? Twin powers.
Twin powers activate.
The movie not only believes in all forms of Jesus, but also twin powers.
Yeah. Twin powers activate. Form of Christ. You got to say it like that, Paige.
Twin powers activate. Form of loaves and fish.
I mean, honestly, I just wanted to say form of Soundgarden because they do like have a song called Jesus Christ Pose.
But also, weren't they like kind of rivals with Bush? I feel like I watched a documentary that talked about this for a while and I tuned out.
I wouldn't even say they're in the same universe. Like, yes, okay, they both did rock and roll in the 90s, but Soundgarden was way better than Bush.
I'll take your
Come
word for it.
at me.
I will not fight you on this. I have no information with which to fight you. Anyway, she wakes up and is like, oh, my sister. So she goes to the crime scene, even though she would never be allowed to because it's her sister.
Exactly. But Paige,
Yeah.
I didn't know she had a twin at this point in the movie.
Nope.
So when she wakes up after I just saw her jump off this roof into a pool dying, clearly dying, I was like, oh, I guess she's had a weird dream. And then she shows up and sees herself dead. And that's when it's revealed that that's her sister. I was like, oh, shit. Okay.
Yes. Which, by the way, we're 20 minutes into the movie.
Uh-huh.
But in the confessional scene, she doesn't say who she is, right? So we don't know. And then she wakes up and she says, Isabel. Who the fuck is Isabel? We don't know. We do see her cute kitty, though.
Aw.
Duck the kitty. We then, before she even goes to the crime scene, we cut away to Keanu Reeves coughing up blood.
Yes.
And then immediately he's at the same building that we just saw that lady jump off of. And they're just like, yep, I got the test results back. It's definitely lung cancer.
You've got full-blown cancers.
And no one will take care of me when I'm dying.
Yeah.
It just like, lungs, what are they? What do we need them for? I'm Dr. Leo Spashemin. It's literally, the scene is like 10 seconds long. And he's like, well, I already know I'm going to hell and I'm going to keep smoking. And you're like, okay.
He literally smokes in a hospital, which is a no-no. And the meeting in which he gets this, like, you have aggressive lung cancer,
Right.
like diagnosis. And he's like, I don't think you understand that I am not just John Constantine. I am Emperor John Constantine. I've been alive for a minute. All right.
Look, ain't no cigarette's gonna kill me. But also she's like, 20 years ago, you didn't want to be here. And now you're like struggling with this. We have no context for that. In my mind, this was reinforcing my Emperor Constantine theory.
I think it does, Paige, because 20 years ago, that motherfucker was 8. Did he come into the hospital at 8 with aggressive lung cancer? I don't think so.
I don't think so. And so my thought was, 20 years ago, he was struggling with his demon fighting mission given from God, and he was tired of being an immortal on Earth since the Holy Roman Empire, or rather just the very, very late Roman Empire. And like, I mean, what you gonna do? He's like, I'm tired of this. I've been Emperor Constantine for so long.
Paige, he gave up the emperor title when he went on a mission from God.
That's true.
Yeah.
And probably for a woman he loved that died many years ago. But then Rachel Weisz looks exactly like her.
Damn you, Bathsheba! Paige, we've got the first 30 pages right here.
It's kind of like in Mummy 2, where she turns out to be Nefertiti reincarnated. I'm telling you.
Those Nefertitis.
Woo! Bird, boat, squiggle lines.
Guys, we're just reading Egyptian hieroglyphic porn to you.
There you go. But this movie could have gone in so many crazy directions.
Paige, all of this shit's in public domain, right? We could just write this movie.
The Emperor Constantine is a warrior of God. But what do we call it? We can't call it Constantine because then people think it's this.
Okay.
Emperor.
Yeah. Emperor Constantine.
Emperor Constantine.
Yeah. Or wait, John Constantine the Baptist.
John Constantine. That's instead of like hasta la vista, bitch, he's like nice to Nicaea. Cunt. You're like, wow. I feel like a man of God shouldn't speak that way.
I'm not a man of God. I'm an emperor. And then he Sparta kicks him into hell.
He just opens up a hell mouth in the middle of just like the street. It's just...
The one thing I demand is that demons speak a known language called hell speak that our Emperor John Constantine can understand, just like this movie.
Just like this movie. Not Aramaic
Nope.
or whatever.
Paige, it was hell speak. It's literally called hell speak. I love that.
And it's just people with vocal fry, where it's just like, yes.
Everyone's just the bad guy from the Three Musketeers and Count of Monte Cristo. He's like that guy.
And then, like, the sprinklers came on and my skin started to melt off. Hell speak.
Paige, ask me if there's water in hell.
Is there water in hell?
He doesn't answer her question. He literally says, ask me that. She does. And he's like, fuck you for asking. I was like, good God, this is insane. I love this.
Is monkeys human? Is there water in hell? Is the Emperor Constantine the same Constantine from the movie?
If it was brave, it would be.
If it was brave, it would be. 20 years ago, he didn't want to be here. He was tired of his Emperor mission. And anyway, gilded cage and whatnot.
Yeah.
So he leaves and he goes down in the elevator right around the same time that Rachel Weisz is like, no, like my sister didn't kill herself. Like she didn't, I swear.
You don't understand. She's Catholic. She can't.
She can't. Anytime she tries, a bunch of wafers just shoot out of the gun. Like we tried so many ways. She tried to hang herself, but then it just turned into one of those incense holders and she smelled like patchouli for a few days. It's literally, she tried to drink poison. It turns into water. She tries to drink water. It turns into wine. She can't. She's Catholic. She can't kill herself.
Paige, bad pitch.
Uh-huh.
Emperor Constantine late in the series. When he's like grizzled, he's wanted to give it up for a while. You know, like
right.
He's 1,700 years old. He's like too old for this shit.
Right. And we got to cast a new one.
No, he's not Doctor Who. He gets a gun and he puts it to his head, pulls the trigger, and God turns that bullet into grape juice. And it just shoots like wine all over his head. Just because God's not going to let you kill yourself, Constantine. You got work to do.
Not until we found whatever current hot body you want to take over the new franchise.
Some are saying Tom Holland. Some are saying Massimo.
Well, Massimo's already the emperor, but it would be wild to replace him with Tom Holland, who I also very much enjoy. Just very different flavors.
Yeah, but it's got to be Tom Holland doing a Massimo impression.
Oh, now I'm here for it. 100%.
That would be terrible. Paige, we have to, we got to power forward. We got to move through this.
But then he also has to do the umbrella dance. Anyway.
Yeah.
My sister couldn't kill herself. She's Catholic. She doesn't make it onto the elevator. She does go home and watch the security footage where it sounds like her sister turns around and says, Constantine? And it would have been really great if she could have clarified and been like, specifically the Emperor Constantine, and then went off the roof.
Paige, what is insane to me about that security footage is it is clearly held by someone who's around the same height as the actress, about 10 feet away from her. When she says Constantine, it almost seems like Constantine might have pushed her. You know, like he's that close with that camera. It's not like security camera that's like above the thing that they're securitizing.
Not like the grainy footage that people send when they think they've seen a ghost or Bigfoot. No. Clear handycam footage that's just grayscaled from 10 feet away.
If that had been an actor that was not Rachel Weisz, that would have been footage that she uses in her reel. It's like that. It looks like that kind of footage.
Yes.
You don't shoot your security footage at glamour shots.
You do not.
Like that's not the way that would look if it was security footage. It's hilarious to me.
It's bonkers that they did that way. And that she immediately has it. That it's the next day and her literal family has it.
Well, she's a cop. Like I
kind
of give this movie a lot of pass because there's no one at the police department who was willing to not let her investigate her sister's murder, which, like, okay, that's not how that would play out. But once you accept that, she can get anything from, like, evidence to whatever.
Right.
Because there's no one to stop her, and cops have no rules unless you have enough good cops to stop the bad cops, and you don't. You never do.
Right. But again, she's like, she wouldn't kill herself because of the, whatever.
Right.
We then cut back to Mexico, where Manuel, who has the Spear of Destiny, hops over a fence and then walks past a whole herd of animals that die as he passes.
Yeah.
Which now, again, this is telling me that, like, this thing radiates death to anyone that's not holding it, and it's getting stronger. Like, it's telling us visually that these are some of the powers it has, and then ultimately, no.
Well, it doesn't have any of those powers when it comes to the end.
Right. When it comes to Los Angeles, it does nothing.
It's just a knife.
Right. Because if that was the real thing of that that, people would be dropping dead and stuff, right? So, like,
Yes.
you'd get to Los Angeles and it'd be like, hey, there's like a literal path of corpses to this hospital. That'd be fucking metal as fuck. And you know who would be the right person to take care of it? Emperor Constantine.
He'd have to. Who else could do it?
I mean, maybe St. Paul or, Peter, some of the Marks and Matthews.
Yeah.
Any of them, really.
I agree. It would have to be either like a saint level or just one like level lower than that, still human but living forever, that Emperor Constantine level.
Todd, do you remember that scene in The Mummy where Imhotep wakes all his priests to go do his bidding?
Yes.
If Emperor Constantine woke the 12 apostles and their corpses went to go do his bidding.
Son of a... Yes.
We're pitching such a better movie.
I don't know if it's better, but it's nutser, and I want to watch it. Like, someone needs to make this insanity.
Look, is this because I basically watched The Mummy and then Frankenhooker? Maybe, but like, we don't need to dig too far into that. We're talking about Emperor Constantine today. If you're wondering, Frankenhooker is on Tubi right now.
Or is it on Not To Be, Paige?
Anyway, John Constantine finally gets home and meets with his dude Q, essentially.
The biblical Q, though, Paige.
The biblical Q.
Yeah, the bowling alley Q.
Yeah, he's got a name. I don't remember what it was, but he brings him a bunch of like relics of like holy water from the River Jordan, but then a screech beetle from Amityville.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, the demons hate that. And I'm like, are we going to address that at all?
Nope.
That it's like, it's not just religious relics, but it's like a place where a horrible bad thing happened. Collect some dirt from there, and that gives you powers. This is putting us more into Ed and Lorraine territory than, like, which again, if I'm picking my Christian superheroes, right now Ed and Lorraine are in the lead. Just purely on mixing it up, and, they'd call on Emperor Constantine if they thought he'd listen and buy their courses.
That's why Emperor Constantine works, because he could be in any of these movies. Because any of those movies that take place in the 70s and 80s, he could be in, because he's alive. He's been alive since like 300 AD. Like, let's make this happen, guys. Also, I know that character's name because his name is Beeman.
Beeman.
And we have a Toyota dealership with that same name here in Nashville.
Oh.
And so every time they said, like, there's that scene where he dies and they're like yelling his name or whatever. I kept hearing Keanu Reeves be like, Beeman Toyota in my head because I've seen that commercial a million times.
That is wild. When you just mentioned that because Constantine's been alive this entire time.
Right.
And the Emperor Constantine, of course.
Naturally.
I feel like the Rachel Weisz character has to be a journalist who's investigating photos of this man as a time traveler through all time and then trying to find out if he is truly the Emperor Constantine who has been immortal. And then she's got some crotchety boss who's just like, get me pictures of Emperor Constantine.
You're thinking too much Spider-Man, Paige.
I am thinking too much. Well, you're the one who brought up Tom Holland.
That's fair. Yeah, that's my fault. But it only works if she works at like a Glamour magazine and they're like, I don't know, this guy's been around for a long time. What's his skin regimen?
What is his skin secret?
Yeah, they're like trying to get his secrets on how he's like lasted so long.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's because Christ shines upon him. But he then gets a weapon that's like dragon's breath, which is basically a flamethrower that they never use until he like attaches it to his cross gun.
Right.
Then he basically tells this guy, he's like, yeah, a soldier demon was like trying to come through this little girl, but I showed it a mirror and that fixed it. Beeman is like, no, people aren't doors. He says people are like finger puppets, where he's like, they can control us and maneuver us, but they can't come through. And I was like, that doesn't help me out. That's not great. But then he's like, well, can you check the scrolls to see if there's anything? And he's like, I'll check the scrolls anyway. And also, here is some codeine-ass cough syrup for you to get your scissor on, Constantine. But then we never come back to that check the scrolls thing. Not once, not ever.
Nope. It's literally not important.
Not important until way later when we have the message from the sister on the window, which is a completely different clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he comes to talk to, we will find out, Gabriel. She's there to talk to a priest. They're both in the same place. They think they're there to see the same person. She's there to see a priest who's just like, I can't do a funeral because of this dumb rule. And then she sees him because John Constantine goes to talk to Gabriel and is like, hey, I'm dying of Don Draper disease because my lungs are what? Toasted.
Yeah.
And I need some assurance that I'm going to heaven and not hell, because I've been to hell and that place fucking sucks, right?
Yeah, but he had to say Bill, like, of course he's been to hell. His best friend went.
Right. Exactly. Right after they called Socrates. And
Exactly.
And Gabriel's like, you can't go to hell. And she basically says, she's like, everything that's happening to you right now is your own fault. You're dying because you smoked too much and you're going to hell because of that one life you took. Aha, a crumb of context for us to think. So now we're like, well, who did he kill? Who would be so important that it would keep him in hell forever? Oh, wait, it's the same dumb, stupid rule? Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It totes is.
And he also, this is where you were like, he acts like God owes him money.
Yes.
It is this scene
Yes.
where he's just like, but I've saved so many souls for him. Like, how dare you? And she's just like, well, I'm going to say they treat Gabriel in a real androgynous way that I actually really do like from a visual representation standpoint, because I am a person that is of the belief that demons, angels, God, in fact, are not human and therefore do not adhere to our human gender binary. And so I think presenting them as androgynous is actually a very wise depiction. But I think also in certain lights, especially at the end, Tilda Swinton's bone structure really looks like marble sculpture, like versions of the angel Gabriel. And that I find very fascinating. Like visually, there is a lot that is cool in this movie. And that is one of those choices I think that turns out very, very cool.
I thought it was cool as shit. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, we cut to that priest whose necklace he stole, but didn't really. He just handed it back to him. That guy could have put that necklace back on at any time. He did not. But his whole house is like foil and newspapered to a conspiracy theory degree. And he's like running his hands over newspapers and he's like, tell me something. And we just hear, Isabel. And he pulls her obituary and then we cut away.
Yeah.
We cut away. This is actually where we cut back to the security footage where she sees Constantine because it's, again, this movie cuts.
It's all over the place.
Over the place with no regard as to what information you're keeping track of. So then she answers the phone. No one's there. And then all the phones in her house ring. What does this mean?
It means that Ryan sent her a wolf or whatever from the office. I don't know.
We sent her a raven. 500 ravens. Like there's never a message tied to this. It's almost as if it's just her being like, Constantine, ding, 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 but nothing comes of this.
It's either Constantine or the lawnmower man, and we will never know.
Oh my God. Emperor Constantine versus the lawnmower man. I'd watch that shit.
I've never seen the lawnmower man, but doesn't he like make all the phones in the world ring? Like and that's what happens to her, right?
Yes. In very simplistic terms, yes. And also, am I so fucking tired that Lawnmower Man versus Emperor Constantine sounds like a good idea? I've got your first 30 pages right here. Yes.
Yeah.
That's who you're getting today. Paige has been working overtime all week. It is just the nature of the fucking beast this week.
Yeah.
So, like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to Constantine drinking cough syrup on the street.
I mean, it's real, like, of the era, come up, about to be sound clapper, rapper vibes.
I mean, that is honestly. And then he sees a crab.
Was it a crab or a lobster? Either way, it was crustacean in nature, and I did not care for it.
It was crustaceary. And like, but then this demon comes up and he seems to be made of bugs. And at that point I was like, I have jokingly called members of the crustacean nation bugs of the sea. And I guess that is accurate, but it's not what we would normally think of as bugs, especially when you have biblical established lore for bug things like a plague of locusts. And he could have just been locusts, but no, they're like, throw a crab in there, bitch. Like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And that is almost like a misdirect because that's not the demon.
Yeah.
The demon does seem to be like, I don't know, 50,000 roaches all working in collaboration to fight Keanu Reeves. And then at one point it looks somewhat mechanical in the face. I don't know.
How dare you?
But it was weird.
Vincent D'Onofrio is not credited in this film.
The Edgar suit.
Can I tell you, I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole the other day because somebody, a magazine, interviewed him about how he prepared for all of his different acting roles. And I skipped through all of his good ones to Men in Black.
Perfect.
To be like, this is the only one I want to know about.
Yeah.
And did you know that he like splinted his own legs for weeks and his arms so that he couldn't really move his joints and learned to walk that way because he thought that's what a bug would feel like if it was too big in a human's body, and trained himself to walk that way for weeks. And then he got to set and was doing the whole like sugar water, like the whole thing. And Barry Sonnenfeld was like, you gonna do that the whole time? And he was just like, yeah, I've been preparing for weeks. And he was like, I get, they'll like it or they won't. And then they just like filmed the rest of the movie and he like kept doing it. And it's arguably the most memorable performance from that movie.
Yeah.
But he literally was just walking around West Hollywood with like splinted arms and legs being like, I'm a bug in a human suit.
I mean, nailed it, Vince. Like, nailed it.
Here's the thing.
Well done, D'Onoff.
It's some of the best. It's incredible. It is an incredible performance. But in the same breath, I want to be like, actors are so fucking weird, man. Like,
Oh, yeah.
That's so crazy.
I mean, but that is crazy. But I'm weird as shit, too, just in a slightly different way.
I'm weird in my own ways.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I drove to a little town famous for alien activity because of a script I was writing. So I can't really throw stones at this man who duct taped his limbs straight.
Right?
But seriously, go find that on YouTube. I'm not going to link it for you. You're an adult with free will. Anyway, it's not locusts, which would make sense. It's crabs and roaches or whatever. And again, this is not the big bad. It's not related to the big bad literally in any way at all.
Right.
All this is a demon who's just like, oh, Constantine, you're always deporting my friends because you're an ICE agent for the Lord, and I hate that.
Yeah.
And admittedly, at that point, Roachman is the good guy, so fuck you, Constantine.
How dare you?
The Emperor would never.
That is our Lord and Emperor Constantine. And I mean Lord in the feudal sense, not the spiritual sense.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Anyway, this really is nothing. All it does is like Shia LaBeouf shows up and he's like, we got to go to Papa Midnight's. And I'm like, cool. Who's Papa Midnight? Papa Midnight is a fascinating character that we only get for 2 scenes, played by Yaimin Hansu.
Yeah.
Like wonderfully, right?
Of course.
And essentially, Papa Midnight, it is described in this film, was a very powerful witch doctor who decided that he was not going to get in the way of God and the devil, and he was going to be like the neutral space, like the hotel in John Wick.
Yeah, like the Continental.
Right.
Yeah.
No business can be done on his premises, right? But they like introduce him and he's like, no, you can't use the chair. And also Gavin Rossdale from Bush is here, who's going to make you cough for a bit.
Paige.
Okay.
When this scene kind of went down and he's talking to Papa Midnight and he's like trying to figure out whatever he's trying to figure out in this moment, he literally says, hey, I got to use the chair. I was like, is that some angelic way of saying like, I got to take a shit? Because we don't ever see him use the chair.
I mean, we do. That's the electric chair. That's the one he was referring to.
I know, not until the very end of the movie.
Not
but
until the
this
very
is like,
end.
This is like an hour from the end of the movie. He asked to use the chair and then he leaves without using it.
I will say, when we finally found out what the chair was, I cackled audibly because I was expecting up till that point that it was going to be like some sort of Cerebro situation from X-Men.
I thought you were going to say Cerebro too. Yeah, and I honestly, it is that because it allows him to see like spiritually connected things that are, from a story circle standpoint, significant to his current circumstances, you know?
All it does is it kills him again and sends him to hell, but then allows him to come back, which is no different than what he does in Rachel Weisz's apartment and what she does in the tub and what he does with the cut. It is
Frighteners.
It is no different.
Oh, sorry.
There's no reason why he needed the chair if he could do all those things any other way.
I mean, because the chair is just what he sits on while the guy electrocutes him.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
But then it doesn't do anything different.
You can do that in any chair.
He basically does. And it's implied that that's essentially what he does in Rachel Weisz's apartment. Like, we don't see him do it.
Right.
But like, it's implied that that's what he does. The fact that there is no different outcome with the chair means, why did we use, it's baffling to me.
It's Baphomet to you, Paige.
It's Baphomet to me. From a story standpoint, it's so completely useless.
Yeah.
It frustrates me because I'm just like, so that was it? That's it. It doesn't have special powers.
I'm still not convinced I have to use the chair is not an angelic slang for I gotta take a shit.
Gotta take a shit, man. I gotta use Cerebro. He could have, and you know what? If it was Jason Statham, he fucking would have gone into the hospital, a location we've been to many times, and stole a defibrillator. It's basically the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
It really is just creating a near-death experience because that is like, it's a trope from like history. Like,
Sure.
So many con artists either have actually had near-death experiences or lied about having them and then said that that's what gave them like connected to God's superpowers.
For sure.
So like the fact that they use it in this, and I think that's also kind of a plot point in like Frighteners in a weird way. Like there's a near-death experience. Flatliners.
Flatliners is who you're thinking of.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I think that that's part of it. Anyway, so like that's a common trope.
It is, but like they build so he asks for the chair here. Gavin Rossdale makes him cough. He leaves, whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that later when he's like, I got to get back and use the chair, and it's a whole thing is, we'll talk about it when we get there. But now that I'm like talking through it and realizing that it doesn't do anything different than anything else, I'm angry. I'm like so angry about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, they leave. But we do get, this is where we get the phrase that your soul is the one that Satan would come up to collect himself.
Which he can just freely do.
Whenever he wants.
But it's way scarier. Like his son is the big bad of the movie, not Lucifer.
Right, which is also weird.
Yes, that is weird. I don't know any movie where it's like, hey, the scariest thing possible isn't the bad guy in this movie. They'll be here and they'll be kind of weirdly evil charming.
Right.
But don't worry about the actual most evil thing in this movie.
Right.
It'll be fine. It's kind of like your creepy uncle.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut to John's back in his house. Rachel Weisz shows up at his house. How does she know where he lives?
She's a cop, Paige. Like, have you ever tried to break up with a cop and move to a different location? Like,
Thankfully,
they're going to
no.
find your address.
Sure.
Because that's what they do.
Sure. We'll leave it at that.
And how many John Emperor Constantines are in the phone book? You know what I'm saying?
She says in this, she's like, I know you've helped the cops a bunch. Yeah, he's God's ace agent. But also, like, it implies that they're like calling him in as like a resource, which means that the police in this universe are like, we arrested a guy, but he might be a demon. Come help us out. And that's a terrifying reality. But he had trapped a spider. She then releases the spider and leaves. And then he hears like demon thunder, just demons of thunder, just like outside his apartment. And he like runs out to talk to her. And he's like, hey, okay, so like people have the capacity for evil and something might nudge them in one way or another. And there's like, God has a wager and the devil. And they're like exposition dumping so much lore, but in a really vague way where they're like, she's like, I don't believe in the devil. And he's like, he believes in you. And it's like,
Gross.
What is that sound? Wings and talons. And it's just like, none of it is giving us anything. And then he, I think, lights like a Molotov cocktail of holy water.
Yeah.
That gets rid of all of them.
Yeah, I think they call it holy vodka, but it's like he does turn it into like a Molotov cocktail.
Right.
I really think it's funny that they use a lot of like what I would call like Christian trope sayings, like,
Right.
I don't believe in God. It doesn't matter. He believes in you. Like they flip that here and like, I don't believe in the devil. You should. He believes in you. I was like, stop doing this.
It's not helping.
This is weird. It would be like if you were telling a story about how like that time Satan carried you on your journey and when you looked back on the beach, you only saw one set of hoof prints. Like, don't do that. It's dumb.
I would laugh so fucking hard.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, it makes me take the movie less seriously, I guess. I actually do kind of like it, but it made me think of the hoof prints thing because, like, it's just silly. Like, it is silly. Like, this movie is kind of campy, and that's why I think I like it.
Well, but I think that's part of the problem is that, like, you either have to be campy like Blade,
Yeah.
right? Where Blade is just absolute pure camp.
Yeah, it doesn't lean into it quite like that.
It doesn't lean into it. It takes itself too seriously, where he's not being Blade. He's trying to be the Punisher, and it's just like a whole thing. But then she's like, well, my sister might be in hell. And he's like, let's go see. And that's the first time we're realizing we can do that in this world. So he then sets up, he's like got her belongings, including her cat. And I do love that he like specifically dies while holding the cat. Because you have to have like a near-death experience or whatever.
Wait, do you think he does that because he's hoping that it just takes one of the cat's lives and not one of his?
No, I think it's dumber than that. Because he says cats are of both worlds, referencing
I forgot. You're right.
the Egyptian belief that cats are the guardians of the underworld. So we're like lumping that in there too, which admittedly, I have always kind of enjoyed that belief because cats are little chaos machines. They also like throughout history, they're like witch familiars and stuff. So they ultimately are a little spooky. And I think it's just because they're kind of deranged, but that's why we love them. But for this beautiful cat, and it's a beautiful cat, that he just kind of like stares into the kitty's face for a while. And I was like, I could do that. I could stare into a kitty's face to solve crimes.
Yeah, this movie pretty much says the recipe for calling hell is to fill a roasting pan halfway with water, put your foot leather inside it, and then have a staring contest with a kitty.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually demonstrate how he has his near-death experience, which I would assume he has to have given the rules for the rest of the movie, and it doesn't happen in this scene.
But when she comes back in, his clothes are smoking like he was electrocuted. Unless he was like rubbing the cat a lot and got a like static electricity.
Oh.
I don't think that happened.
I mean, maybe, but I'm pretty sure Mythbusters busted that. No, I think the smoking clothes are because you've air quotes come back from hell, but also, so like he goes to hell, he sees her sister jumped, he catches her wristband or whatever, and then he smashes his jacket, implying that there's like a bottle of holy water in his jacket, and that protects him and brings him back to present day.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's his get out of hell free card.
Love that.
Is the thing of holy water in his jacket.
Yeah. And on the other side, a can of booty sweat that he got back into Nang. That's just for you. Anyway, they come back. We cut to the priest. So immediately he's like, she died, but you guys are twins. That's fucking weird. Cut away.
Well, and he proves that he like actually did go to hell because he has her sister's like hospital wristband, which Gabriel has a shitload of at the end. I was like, is Gabriel like collecting these because Gabriel's the people who is killing them?
No, because they say different things on them. So it's like they say attributes or emotions. I think that's just an artistic choice. There's not really enough about it in the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Gabriel's, in some stories, Gabriel is kind of like a healer, like a healing angel, I guess. So maybe that's why.
Oh, not in this movie.
But definitely not in this movie.
No, in this movie, it's pretty much Loki.
I mean, look, don't we all just wish we were kind of watching Loki? Like,
Loki, yes.
Loki, yes. Anyway, he's back. And then we cut to the priest who has decided to investigate Isabel on his own without talking to John or the Emperor at all. And he finds that she's got the mark on her arm. And then as he kind of like grabs her, he kind of has the mark, but then somebody interrupts. So he runs away. And he's hearing all the voices, so he runs to a liquor store and tries to drink as much as he can.
I thought this was kind of cool because he's like opening wine and stuff, and he's trying to pour it in his mouth, and he can't. Like the liquid won't come out because like gravity stops in the bottle. But when he puts it down and is no longer touching it, though, it does start to pour out.
Right.
It's pretty well done, I think. And then like you realize that he actually is drinking it and like literally drowns himself in alcohol, although he doesn't realize he's doing it because he's like possessed. He's being a finger puppet right now.
He's being finger puppeted by Gavin Rossdale of Bush, just like many women on tour buses, I suspect. But we then cut to like real life, and yes, he did drown, but as he was trying to, he carved the symbol into his hand with a corkscrew.
Yes.
And of course, because psychic, she knows that it's going to happen. They arrive on the scene just too late. And they're like, oh no, this gives us no clues.
Quick, get me a napkin so I can take a perfect palm print of what appears to be just like a scope sight.
Right. A palm print that I'm never going to revisit again.
No.
I'm never going to find what this means. I'm not going to ask any questions about it. In fact, we're not going to ask a single fucking question about this guy's death at all.
Nope.
We're just going to take his necklace. We're not going to go to his house and see what he was looking at. We're not going to ask which corpse he was groping. None of that. Even though all of it is pertinent information to what they're trying to do. And this is their friend who was supposed to be listening for things who didn't call him. And he's just like, why didn't you call me, you bitch? Like, I don't know. Use the psychic thing. Go to hell and ask him questions. Talk to her. Anything. Literally anything. This is actually a clue that's just going undiscovered in the movie.
And it turns out they don't need, really. I always thought that this guy didn't call Keanu Reeves because Keanu Reeves didn't have like an Ethernet phone.
He didn't insert his Ethernet cable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because this is the guy he told to listen to the ether, right?
Yes, the ether that is never explained. The guy does. He basically solves the fucking case, essentially, or almost does, and then doesn't get to call Constantine. So we, as the audience, know so much about the case, essentially, at this point, that our main characters just don't fucking know.
No.
That they're just bumbling around. And instead, Constantine takes Rachel Weisz to the hospital room where her sister was before she passed. And he's basically just like, use your twin powers. Use your fucking twin powers, you twin ass bitch. Use your twin powers.
I will shake it out of you. I will yell at you in the face until you twin powers activate form of Christ. And she doesn't.
Twin powers activate. Clues. Yes. And her sister's been dead how long?
Is it 3 days? Oh my God. Hang on. Is it 3 days?
I have no actual answer.
Okay.
The movie doesn't tell us, but it's probably at least 3 days.
I thought, okay, so there's a brief moment at the end. I thought Isabel was going to come back to life.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh my God, has it been 3 days yet? Is this how you make a Lazarus?
Maybe.
The other slightly less famous person who's resurrected in the Bible, but gets way less screen time.
Yeah, nobody really talks about that one. And ultimately, it was more impressive because it was less than 3 days.
Right?
Right?
Oh, Jesus took full 3 days. Lazzy did it in like an afternoon.
Yeah. Now his legacy is just that occasionally folk rockers are named after him.
The problem was Lazarus was from Bethany, and you know how people in the old days hated Bethany. They were like, no, let's talk about that Jerusalem dude. He's got it going on. Fuck the Bethanians.
There you go.
I actually don't know if that's right.
I have no
idea. So somebody fact check me.
I don't know. One time Bethany gossiped about me at summer camp, and I've never forgiven her.
See, you cannot trust a Bethanian, apparently.
You just can't.
Samaritans, good people. Bethanians, watch out.
Yep. Meanwhile, she breathes on the window, and there's a Bible verse written, but it's Corinthians, and this drove me absolutely fucking nuts, Todd.
Oh, because they refer to chapters in the Bible as acts?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because literally,
it's crazy.
Literally, everyone who reads a Bible, for the most part, whatever version of that there is, refers to them as chapters and verses. It is a ubiquitous colloquialism within society. So when they said, also, Acts is the name of a book in the New Testament.
Yep.
So if you say Corinthians Acts, it's like it's nonsense. It means nothing. And you're just like, what do you mean Corinthians Acts? What are you fucking talking about? And it took me a full minute to be like, oh, they mean fucking chapters. And they basically are like, yeah. This is from this chapter that only exists on the Bible that they have in hell. And then proceeds to fully say shit that's in the regular Bible.
And Acts is like pretty early in the New Testament. It's like
Yes.
Matthew, Mark, John, Luke, Paul, Ringo, Acts,
Right.
Paul again, but to the Corinthians this time. Corinthians 2.
Paul 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Paul goes to prison. Paul Scary Halloween. Paul Scared Stupid.
Yeah, Paul wrote a lot of the New Testament as just like diss tracks of the era
Yes.
to certain cities. He was like, y'all gotta do God shit better.
Yes, 100%. That's like half the New Testament is Paul writing letters to people being like, here's what you're doing wrong. But some of them are really well written. And so that's why people like them.
Yeah, but the people in Corinth need to lock that Christianity shit up. It took 2 letters.
Two Corinthians, as Fearless Leader once said. But yeah, no, Corinthians chapter 22, I guess
Right.
is what they're going for.
Right.
Which again, where they're like the sins of the father, I was like, that's definitely in multiple other places in the Bible and not just this one mythical chapter. You got to get weirder with it. And they're also like, yeah, it makes Revelation look like a party and then there's nothing in it about anything. Like they pull out, because this is where they're like talking to Beamer and he pulls out like an upside down cross, like leaking black, like evil Bible that just says regular Bible stuff. And to clarify, if you've never read Revelations, first of all, consider that it might be an allegory for the Roman government at the time. But after that, wild psychedelic poetry, terrifying, like it is bad trip personified, where it's like there's flaming lions with so many wings and so many eyes and an evil slutty lady on a giant animal. Like that's Revelations. So when they're like, yeah, this makes Revelations look like a party and it's just like the sins of the father. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
Paige, Revelations is lucky this story wasn't written until 1600 years after it was.
Right.
Because if this story was around at the same time Revelations was, Revelations would be the second to last book in the Bible because this shit slaps compared to Revelations.
Or so they say.
Like, this makes more sense.
Yes.
It's got way better lore. Revelations doesn't have any guns where the clip is like a cross. This is way doper than Revelations.
I mean, it depends. I'm a big fan of animals with too many eyes.
They're called bugs, Paige.
I'm not. But that's Revelation's like whole deal.
Yeah.
It's like too many eyes, too many wings, too many feet, too many hands.
And those are just the angels.
And those are just the angels. And it's like, did AI make this? What is happening? There's so many hands. Anyway, Beamer like tells them all the information that they need to know about the, Lucifer's son or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, someone's coming, and he like hangs up and they get there and he is dead and covered in flies, which bees would have been cooler because of his name. But
flies, like the pestilence of it all, Paige.
the pestilence of it all.
Yeah.
No crabs this time.
No crabs this time.
No crabs this time. But so she then is like, I'm psychic. There was someone here and they said he needed divine assistance. So like, how are we going to do this? It smells like sulfur. So this is where we cut away from this to Manuel with the spear hijacking a car. We don't know where he's going. We don't know where he's coming from. That's all we get.
Right.
But then we cut to Rachel Weisz being like, actually, I used to fully be psychic and I lied about it and let them basically torture my sister. So I feel guilty about that. And because of that, I'll do anything to get her out of hell, even if it means I have to go to hell myself. And he's like, well, that is the thing that ruined my life forever, but happy to help you. So he essentially helps to drown her in the tub so that she has a near-death experience.
You say helps to drown her in the tub like she asked for it.
Right. I think she didn't fully understand.
He just like says, hey, go ahead and get in the tub. And she's like, do I have to get all the way in? He's like, yeah, we got to get you under the water. He pretty much says to her what John the actual Baptist said to JC when he baptized. And Jesus Christ was like, hey, how long do I have to be under? And John the Baptist is just like, as long as it fucking takes, dog. And then he just drowned him out.
As long as it takes, cousin, and then just like
Yeah, as long as it takes, cuz. And then drowns him. But I mean, that's what happens to Rachel Weisz in this movie. She becomes the Ironborn.
Right. And so then she goes to hell, but comes back. We don't see her trip to hell really at all, but she comes back. And when she comes back, it's like she is a heat-seeking missile for the coin that Gavin Rossdale from Bush dropped.
Worst superpower to come back from hell with.
Absolutely. And she picks it up, and he knows immediately who it is because we met that guy at Papa Midnight's place, and he's like, Balthazar. So he then assembles the ultimate crossbow, where it's just a giant Tommy gun with a cross on it.
It is great. He and Shia LaBeouf are making like big ass gold bullets for it. It's kind of dope.
It's pretty wild. It is a wild weapon that I wish we had been introduced to earlier.
Oh yeah, I definitely wish Chris Christopherson had handed it to them and explained it better.
Look,
but I liked it.
I still would take Chris Christopherson loading cloves of garlic into a clip over this any day. Just give me more Blade, man.
100%. I would take more Blade. I honestly want the remake, and I'm sure it's going to be like more serious. Isn't it Mahershala Ali or something like that? Who is?
It was, and I think Mahershala is still attached.
Like attached, yeah.
But originally it was Mahershala Ali and Ryan Coogler, and then that concept is what
Sinners,
became
right? Yeah.
Sinners, right?
So that movie would have been amazing, but
that would have been fucking awesome.
I still want a new Blade.
I still want a new Blade.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we have Sinners. I love it to death. I also want a new Blade. Anyway, they drive to like an office building, and this is where he gives her a necklace, and he's like, think of it like a bulletproof vest. And they're definitely channeling some like Terminator vibes here of just like, he never sleeps and he'll never ever stop. And you're just like, all right.
Yeah, he's the devil. We get it.
He's the devil.
I really badly want, because the way they shoot him putting the necklace on her, it looks like they're about to kiss. Yeah. And so we're like seeing their faces, not what he's putting on her.
Right.
We just kind of see his arms move around her. And then we just hear him and see him say at like just still on their faces, he says, think of it like a bulletproof vest. And I badly wanted it to pan down and it just be like a bulletproof vest that says like detective on it or something, you know?
I, for a hot second, until we saw the necklace, thought that just him kissing her was basically like a bulletproof vest.
Son of a bitch. I wish I had said something different right after I kissed Natalie the first time.
Think of it like a bulletproof vest.
For your heart, girl.
Think of it like a bulletproof vest, because I'm shooting blanks. Anyway, he goes in and she's like, no, and leaves the necklace behind, which is wild because it means she would have had to like take it off, which is dumb.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want your fucking Party City Claudia necklace, bro. At least get me the real stuff. I don't want one that's made from sterling silver that you bought literally at Stonehenge.
But then it probably has powers because like, had a hell of a time getting one of those rocks over here. You wouldn't believe it.
Everything comes back to Halloween 3.
Anyway, he confronts Gavin Rossdale from Bush and is like, hey, why are you helping the devil's kid? And he's like, because.
Full stop.
He
throws holy water on his face and it becomes kind of like a reptile face on that side.
A little demony.
And I thought it was so funny because it's like smoking and green and pussy. And at one point, Gavin Rossdale is choking him. And I just wanted Gavin Rossdale to say something like, oh, you don't like being choked? And have Keanu Reeves say back, clearly not being affected by the choking, just say, no, your face smells like shit, bro. Like, because it's like steaming in his face.
It's so gross.
It's so funny to me. Yeah.
The one cool part about this is that he pulls out brass knuckles with crosses on them and beats the shit out of him.
I honestly, Paige, I wish that instead of the crosses, it just had HOLY.
Oh my God.
And then on the other one, it said LORD. And just like boom, 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 boom. Just like haymaker in him with the Holy Lord.
I love it. I love it so much. But he tries to threaten to like, oh, I'm not going to send you back to hell. I'm going to send you back to fucking heaven, you motherfucker. Like, I'm giving you your last rites or whatever. And this gets him to admit that God has to somehow help bring Lucifer's son to earth. Does he tell them how? No.
It's like, when like back in the day, like these rich oil sheiks that like we weren't the best with from a like government standpoint still wanted to get like surgery in America. It's like that.
Right.
Because sometimes we'll allow them to come because we do have better medicine and better surgeons than most countries. So sometimes we'll allow bad people to come use our medical services. So that's kind of what God's gonna do for the son of the devil, I get. None of this makes sense to me. It's insane.
That's also not even what's gonna happen, because essentially at this point, he's like, yeah, we have the Spear of Destiny. And everyone reacts like, we all know about the Spear of Destiny, motherfucker. Like, and I'm like, do we? Does it have powers? What?
It's Rachel Weisz's character who's like, oh, we all know about the Spirit of Destiny. I was like, yeah, I mean, I know about it because I'm a nerd. Like, I know the fake history of it and that, like, it supposedly was taken hours before Hitler killed himself. Right. But if you look at the actual, like, paperwork that exists, it was actually, like, in August when they found it and he died in July. So, like, it doesn't have the mythical thing that everyone thinks it does. There have been many different spears that have been called that. This is just the most recent one that was called that. It's like Menudo, stop. It's not a big deal. Everybody calm down. But like everyone in this universe is like, no, we know what it is because if we're within 20 feet of it, we die.
Right. Which is not going to happen later. But
no, it just becomes a knife.
This movie believes that every religious relic is real, even though they accuse our emperor of trying to sell fake ones. It works on the idea that every religious relic ever is real, which most of them are full-blown fakes. There's a whole market for it. So that's even crazier. But now he's like, well, okay, so if he's got the spear, and she's like, but he'd still need a powerful psychic. And he's like, not really, because he's got twins, obviously, on the other side. And then he fully just lets them take her. She just gets yanked through a building.
I don't think he like lets them take her.
Sure.
Because she gets like sucked through walls.
Right.
Or whatever. And he is like just hoofing it after, like running through the holes in the walls that her back is creating. So like, I don't know how she ever walks again. I mean, it actually makes me feel better because at the end of this movie, she's definitely about to have her back blown out again by Keanu Reeves. So after this, she can take it.
I think it's wild that you think they end up together when I think that he implies that he has feelings for her, even though there's zero chemistry. And then they part ways at the end.
They almost kiss in this movie. They almost kiss, Paige.
They almost. This is just like that other one on Romancing the Pop.
Also, what do you think fake relics Keanu Reeves tried to sell Papa Midnight?
Ooh, I'm going to say the golden dildo of Antioch.
I thought it was going to be something like the coin purse of Judas or something like that. That held the 30 pieces of silver or whatever.
Ooh, that'd be a good one. The skin of one of the pigs that he cast that demon into, or like a shelf Jesus built in his carpenter days.
The God chair is a chair that Jesus Christ made.
Motherfucker, of course it is. That's why the emperor sits on it.
Good God.
Got the first 90 pages right here. This is a multi-series. This is Avatar level.
Oh, yeah. And guys, we're going to need a few $1 billion. So figure that out.
Join our Kickstarter. It's just for crop tops that say more blood, more titties.
The last relic that Keanu Reeves tried to sell Papa Midnight was the fourth nail used on the cross. Jesus was packing heat. They had to nail it down.
I was thinking for the sign at the top, but yeah,
I mean, that works. Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, so they show up to Papa Midnight's place, and Papa Midnight is like, I'm neutral. And he's like, you're not neutral because a bunch of people have fucking died and they're about to bring the son of Lucifer. And he's like, okay, fine. You can use the fucking chair. And he goes into a subsection of this nightclub that is basically the Metropolitan Museum of Art/History. It's massive. And that's where they have the electric chair from Sing Sing. And that is the chair. But again, and I cannot stress this enough, it does not have any different outcome.
No.
From when he did it in her apartment.
Paige, he could have been like, I got to use the God chair. And then Papa Midnight could have come over and tased him. And it would have had the exact same result.
Exact. But he then sees the Spear of Destiny, that Manuel was driving it. He drove it to Los Angeles. He's literally at the hospital, and he's like, all right, we got to go to that fucking hospital.
But Paige, wait, I'm so sorry. But when he had revealed the chair, this holy chair or whatever, and Keanu Reeves had been like, what? It's not even like a throne. It's like a simple wooden chair. And then we'd have the whole like...
That's the
Last
chair of a
Crusade.
carpenter.
Exactly. We'd have like the whole Last Crusade of it all.
He chose poorly.
Yes.
Because he's just sitting in a lazy boy.
It's like Shia LaBeouf and a lazy boy's like, I didn't choose poorly. I got a footrest and a fridge.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to hell. It's dumb that you even want to do that.
So dumb. But we melt down a bunch of relics, turn them into bullets. We also get some sort of cross that never comes into play.
Nope.
Not even once. It must be the one that he drops in the holy water.
Oh, I think it is. Yeah, it's the it's the Minecraft sword, as you called
It's
it.
the Minecraft
But if you think
sword.
about it, like a sword is an 8-bit cross.
Sure.
Like I don't know what else to it's or a cross is an 8-bit sword. You know, like it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they break into the hospital. They put the sword in the water repository. He comes in and confronts all of the demons that are like guarding the pool room.
Yeah.
And he's just like, hey, you half-breeds, I know you're guarding or whatever. And then he like turns his lighter on, the sprinklers go on, and then he still has to shoot all of them. So it basically just like weakens them.
I think it kind of like hurts them, and like I got the vibe that it just took a while to kill them.
Right.
So because they're in the same room with him and they're kind of attacking him while it is killing them, he kind of has to shoot them.
Right.
But it's gonna kill him. It's holy water.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Angela and Manuel basically both drown in the water, and she comes back with Mammon. And at this point, I looked at the time on the movie and I was like, how the fuck is there 30 minutes of this movie left?
I know.
Like, how? But there's like a pool fight, and then he and Shia LaBeouf get in. They have to work together, old priest, young priest, to exorcise that demon out of her. But then there's somebody else in the room beating them up. So somebody invisible beats Shia LaBeouf to death.
Man, when he bounces on the floor and then hits the ceiling,
Yes.
and then back to the floor, and Keanu Reeves runs over and is like, oh my God, are you okay? I wanted Shia LaBeouf to be like, call Guinness. I don't think anyone's ever bounced like that. Like, it's crazy that he did that. But it very clearly is like there's a demonic thing that did that. It was, bad.
Right. So then Constantine puts his tattoos together, which if we're thinking about casting, like,
Right?
Massimo,
Yeah.
then, I mean, obviously, right?
Yeah.
He puts his tattoos together and is like, let there be light, essentially. Like, into the light I command thee.
Yeah, it's like into the light I command thee. Because he's like trying to bring the demon that he can't see into sight so he can see him.
Right. But it turns out to be Gabriel. Gabriel, Dr. Evil's their insane plan to everybody, I guess. It makes no fucking sense. Essentially, they're like, we're going to help get the son of Satan to come to earth, to make earth so bad, because in times of tribulation is when mankind is most noble. And so because they'll be noble, more of them will get into heaven. So in reality, it's actually a good thing. And I was like, the fuck are you fucking talking about? Like,
It's a metaphor for no joke Middle East foreign policy. 100%.
I mean, there you go. That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
Like, it is very much like, no, we have to like cause wars over there because that's what's going to bring about Jesus coming back.
I mean,
People say that. I
know
like
they
in the
do.
South, especially. It's nuts. It's like, it's scary.
it's crazy. Anyway, and at this point, they toss Constantine into the other room, and he then prays, and he's like, God, I'm not one of your favorites, but if you could maybe give me a little attention, please. And then he picks up a glass shard to make it look like he is going to kill himself and
Yeah.
cut himself. And who should show up but Lucifer, who's just like, oh, finally, I've been waiting to collect your soul a whole long time. Why are my feet so gross? Don't think about it. Don't.
Yeah, they
think
always
about
look better in the prints in the sand.
Think about my crazy accent that's all over the place because I'm Peter Stormare.
It is all over the place.
What are we doing? And we have this like scene of them talking is the most interesting part of the movie, where he's giving 150% of a performance that is just unhinged.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? My kid is, I can't fucking, ooh, I hate this. So he like walks in the other room, smashes through the glass, grabs essentially Rachel Weisz, but we see in the reflection in the water that it's him and his son.
Yeah.
And Gabriel tries to like, hey, I'm going to shoot her or shoot you. And then no, God is no longer backing Gabriel. So he lets Lucifer and his son go back to hell.
Yeah.
Basically pulling the demon out of Rachel Weisz and then burns Gabriel's wings off. And then Lucifer pops back up to collect Constantine's soul. And he's like, instead of taking mine, like I'll willingly go. I'm not going to fight you. But if you could give her sister back and give Isabel to heaven, just so that like she stays dead, but you don't have her. And he's like, all right, fine, it's done. But now you come to hell with me. And it literally won't allow him to go to hell because he sacrificed himself, which means that he would get to go to heaven. But then Lucifer is like, no, I'm going to curse you to live so that you have the like chance to prove that you truly belong in hell. Really, the end of this movie just falls the fuck apart, you guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, she lives too, but they have the spear. And now Gabriel is human, but he refuses to kill them because he's like, no, now you have to experience human pain or whatever. And I'm not a killer. We're not going to do this.
Right.
They go up to the roof and then he and Rachel Weisz have the moment where they should have some sort of kiss or whatever. But he's like, no, you need to go hide this spear somewhere. I'll never find it. I've got cleanup to do. And then he's like, I guess God really does have a plan for all of us. I just had to die twice to figure it out. And I'm like, you died like 6 times. and that's the movie.
Paige, did you see the post-credit scene where Lucifer is on the screen again and he goes, if you thought my son was bad, wait till Constantine 2 when you meet my daughter.
Oh, no, but that would be amazing.
It would be great, yeah. Soundtrack by Silvertide, I'm here for it. That movie, of course, does not exist.
As long as it's the Emperor.
I mean, it should be the Emperor Constantine. But Paige, having talked about the movie and having seen the movie, of course, what did you think about 2005's Constantine?
I mean, A, I remembered it being shorter. I had forgotten huge sections of this movie. B, I really want the Emperor Constantine version.
Me too.
This is just kind of messy. I feel like I actually would be kind of interested in the TV show. I don't know if it was any good, but I feel like the lore is kind of interesting. We just don't get a clear enough vision of what it is.
Yeah.
Like, this could be a cool world to live in. I trust that the comics are great, but it's like, this is so messy that you're just like, I don't know. Now, is it campy and ridiculous and that's fun, kind of? Yeah, there are sections like the fucking brass knuckles with crosses. That's fucking hilarious. But this is not one of the ones I'm going to readily return to.
Yeah, I think that's about the same. Although I'm glad I watched it. Like, I avoided this when it came out. I remember when it came out. And because it looked kind of scary, honestly, to me. And it honestly isn't that scary.
Right.
I definitely could have even handled it at the time. But that's why I missed it. And I kind of wish I had seen it because it is very like campy and silly. But yeah, I kind of liked it. Probably won't watch it a ton more, but it's definitely one you should see.
Yeah.
Anyway, Paige, do you have some fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, hit us with your fun facts. Constantine, fun facts.
Keanu Reeves bought the Holy Shotgun prop and gave it to director Francis Lawrence as a gift.
I love that. That's cool.
I do love that. The look of hell was based on old footage of nuclear tests, specifically the sudden shockwave right after a blast. And
I think that.
If that's what they're going for, nailed it.
Yeah, nailed it.
Nailed it. So according to the director's commentary on the DVD, the Molotov demon cocktail is a piece of Moses's shroud that was given to him by Beeman.
I love it. Amazing.
The Spear of Destiny prop is the same one used in Hellboy from 2004, a much more entertaining film. And also, originally, this movie was supposed to be titled Hellblazer, but it was too similar to Hellboy, and the films were scheduled to be released within such a short space of time between them. And it was decided that having such similar titles would hurt the sales of tickets. Therefore, Hellblazer was changed to Constantine.
Was his name supposed to be John Hellblazer?
No, it's still Constantine, but the movie was going to be called Hellblazer.
Okay, because for a second I thought we were going to have a movie where Keanu Reeves is walking around with a blazer like Guy Fieri because there's like fire on it, and that's the Hellblazer, and then it's just him trying to solve like demon crime.
Like Ghost Rider, basically?
Yes, except business casual casual Ghost Rider.
Right, exactly. The whole Spear of Destiny being in both films, I feel like some of that comes up in older Hellboy. The newer Hellboy that people didn't necessarily love goes like super into Hellboy comics lore that does involve evil Nazis and shit.
Yeah.
And I like watched it with my husband and I was like, wait, is this? And he was like, actually, yes, in the comics, it's these things. So I would not be surprised that they were sharing weird fucking props. Anyway, so Constantine's line where he says that he doesn't want Angela to be another ghost following him around is a reference to the comics where he is haunted by the ghosts of friends who have died because of him. What a thing that they should have included in this movie.
Right?
Right?
Wait, maybe Shia LaBeouf is a ghost. Well, he is by the end of the movie.
By the end of the movie. The character of John Constantine was originally created by Alan Moore during his run on DC Comics' Swamp Thing. However, following his negative experience with From Hell in 2001 and League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in 2003, he decided to reject all money and credit from Hollywood for any adaptations of his work. Thus, he gave all the money he would have gotten to the artist who drew the character with him and rejected his own, quote, created by credit from the film.
Wow.
This is not the last time he will do this either, by the way.
Wow.
Now, when the possessed girl crawls on the ceiling early in the film, she says in Tagalog, "We'll kill them all." So that's what it's translated. We don't have, dialogue for it in the movie, so there's no subtitles for it. But anyway, according to an interview with the AV Club in 2017, Peter Stormare came up with his own costume design idea for the appearance of Lucifer. The off-white linen suit with the tar dripping down from his feet are specifically mentioned in his description. The producer and director had initially wanted leather trousers and bare-chested with a dog collar with spikes.
What?
And then tattoos over his face and chest. I actually think that his version is better.
It's way better than making him look like a BDSM Darth Maul.
Right. Yeah, because this is like, people forget that a lot of the descriptions of Lucifer in the Bible and related books are Prince of Light. Like, he's a fallen angel, essentially. So he should be probably, like, whenever they put Lucifer in, I'll accept an all black suit, but like whenever they put Lucifer in all white, I actually do think that it's way more accurate to at least the books, I guess.
Yeah. His name is like literally like Son of the Morning, right? Isn't that like, it's supposed to like exude light. That's why he changed his name to Satan, because he was no longer that, But
also his suits, all satin.
And largely just to destroy dyslexics.
Yeah. Anyway, the holy hand grenades are just Christmas ornaments filled with water, and that's pretty fun.
Love that.
The tattoo on Constantine's arms is the alchemical symbol of the Red King, which was worn by him for protection in the comics. It's a fire triangle with 3 radiating arrows, which represents the perfect Red King, the sulfur of philosophers.
Okay.
I guess. Now, the comic is Hellblazer, although later runs of the comic also will run under the name Constantine. But Ravenscar Hospital is a mental institution, and Constantine will spend years in and out of Ravenscar within the comics after he has a nervous breakdown due to a botched exorcism.
Botched is not something you typically hear next to the word exorcism.
True. 2 more fun facts. You can find the rest. There's tons of oral history about this movie. The Spear of Destiny is also known as the Spear of Longinus. Longinus was the name of the centurion who used the spear to pierce Christ's side during the crucifixion. And then I will leave you with this. The Nazi flag they used to wrap the Spear of Destiny in for the movie was an actual Nazi flag that they purchased. Not one from the war, but like a reproduction, obviously.
Yeah.
And when they were done shooting with it, they burned it to prevent it from falling into the hands of neo-Nazis after the fact.
Nice.
And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Constantine in 2005?
I think this was really expensive. I'm going to say that this was around $45 million.
Oh, Paige, I am so happy to tell you it was $75 million.
Jesus. I was thinking 60 and I was like, no, there's no way it's that much. $75 million.
That's like $126.8 million today. Now, Paige, this movie did come out February 18th, 2005, and it was number 2 the weekend it came out. It was beat by Hitch, that was the number 1 movie that weekend. 2 was obviously Constantine. Number 3 was Because of Winn-Dixie.
Ooh.
Number 4 was Son of the Mask, and 5 was $1 Million Baby. Paige, what do you think Constantine brought in its opening weekend?
I think number 2 opening weekend, this probably brings in at least 21 million.
Close. It was 29.7, almost $30 million in its opening weekend. It was 3rd in its 2nd week, and then it fell to 6th in its 3rd week. In its 4th week, it was 8th. 5th week, it was 10th, and it was never again in the top 10. But it was in theaters for 14 weeks total. So what do you think it brought in domestically at the box office?
I think domestically, this probably brings in somewhere in the neighborhood of 82.
Close. It was $75.9 million. Now, this movie also brought in what I'm going to call a shitload of money internationally. It brought in $145.6 million internationally.
Dang.
So that puts the box office total up at $221.5 million, or a little bit more than 3 times its production budget. So it definitely, if we're looking at that, budget times 2 for like the marketing spend on it, it definitely passed that. But if you adjust that 221.5 for inflation, that turns that to $374.6 million today. This movie made a good amount of money.
Yeah.
It didn't make most of that domestically. I bet, honestly, this was seen as somewhat of a bomb domestically.
Yes.
Because it just barely made its budget back. But it did very well around the world. But that is your box office. Paige, do you want to hit us with that scary scale?
Ooh, our scary scale is a scale of how scary we found this film when watching it today, with 1 being Ghostbusters and 10 being Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Todd, how scared were you?
I'm going to give it a 1. There was one moment that was a bit jumpy, but like it was just like a quick jump scare as a demon kind of run towards the camera and gets like closer than you think it will. But it's not like scary. I'm still going to give it a 1, but there is that kind of one moment. I really do think I could have seen this in the theaters and been fine at the time.
Yeah, it's a 1 for me as well. And that's your scary scale. Hey, do you have any reviews for us, Todd?
I do. This week, I'm going to read one of our most recent Spotify comments from Aaron, and not only because they say my name, although that was part of it for me. Aaron says, Todd is in luck because y'all have already reviewed Rose Glass's other film, Love Lies Bleeding, on Romancing the Pod.
I did read that, and I was very excited. I
forgot that was her.
I fucking love Love Lies Bleeding.
Yeah. And Aaron goes on, the woman contains all the multitudes. Also, not only does Bug God speak Welsh, but it's Morfrid Clark is providing the voice of the bug herself, which is the lady who played Saint Maud, and I probably butchered her first name. I apologize.
Oh.
And then she says, who is Maud? So Maud is very literally talking to herself in those moments.
That makes a lot of sense
I think that goes on to like confirm what we were saying thematically. Yeah, I agree. But Aaron, thank you so much for that Spotify comment. And if you want to have me read your Spotify comment or a 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that. So guys, if you like this show but want to hear Paige and I talk about romantic comedies or just regular romantic movies, check out our other podcast, some might call it a sister podcast, called Romancing the Pod, where we do just that weekly. It's a lot like this show, but for romance and romantic comedies, because Paige doesn't like them. So we make her watch them, just like you guys make me watch horror over here. But if you want to follow me, I am at Todd J. Awesome on all the social media. Paige is at Rampage Wesley on Instagram?
Yes, and TikTok.
And just Paige Wesley on Twitter, because you got that before some CEO lady and she wanted it, but you wouldn't give it back, and I respect you for that.
Refuse.
Also, Paige
Suck it, other Paige Wesley.
Paige is also on another podcast. It's great. You should check it out. It's called Cult Podcast with Armando Torres, who is a wonderful person. And guys, we got a P.O. box. So if you want to send us some love letters or whatever you might send to a P.O. box, it's actually not a P.O. box. It's like a regular street address. It's pretty awesome. It's 6688 Nolensville Road, number 108-34, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027. So send us some stuff. And if you want to support this show, go to Patreon at patreon.com/horrorvirgin, where there are a lot of great levels and a lot of great things. We do the Patreon shout outs at the beginning of every episode. We do listener requests, stuff like that, bonus episodes. So you'll be getting all of that content, plus episodes a day early with no ads, and who doesn't love that? So sign up for the Patreon and get a lot of great stuff.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm your horror virgin, Todd.
Keep it ookie spooky.
Yeah, have an amazing week, guys. Bye! All right, in the Spotify comments, tell me what the most metal band name that came out of something that Paige or I said. I wrote down A Path Full of Corpses, Demon Thunder, and Angelic Shits. I'm sure there were more, but I want to see Spotify comments with what you think was the most metal band sounding name, because there was tons of them this episode. Anyway, we'll see you next week, nerds.
Hi, I am Mandy Moore.
Sterling K. Brown.
And I'm Chris Sullivan. And we host the podcast That Was Us, now on HeadGum.
Each episode, we're going to go into a deep dive from our show, This Is Us.
That's right.
We're going to go episode by episode. We're also going to pepper in episodes with different guest stars and writers and casting directors.
Yeah.
Are we going to cry? Yes.
A little bit.
Are we going to laugh?
A lot.
A whole lot.
That's what I'm hoping, man. Listen to That Was Us on your favorite podcast app, or watch full video episodes on YouTube or Spotify. New episodes every Tuesday.